My name is Ramesh RK, and it brings me great joy to be a part of today's program. Our speaker for today is Mr. Muthu Vijayan Elango. But before we carry on, we'd request Swati to say the school prayer.
Good evening, everyone. Our school prayer is as follows. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Thank you. Sir, you are on mute.
All right. So, well, the speaker for today, we have a very interesting speaker, Mr. Muthu Vijayan Elango. Muthuji is a multifaceted individual who's transitioned from engineering to become an accomplished astrologer, author, instructor, certified life coach, and the founder of Innovative Astro Solutions. With a decade of corporate success under his belt, Mr. Muthu has embraced his passion for astrology in 2018, using his expertise to guide numerous individuals in making empowering life choices based on astrological insights. He also shares his knowledge by teaching the fundamentals of Vedic astrology to over 4,000 students on Udemy, many of whom have kickstarted their own careers in this field. Muthuji can be contacted via email or by phone, and the details are given here in the School of Ancient Wisdom chat group for the contact details. So very unusual to have an engineer transiting to astrology, and I'm sure that many of us will be very curious because it will combine, the concept of faith. We normally go to an astrologer with faith, and we believe that that gentleman would have been in this field for a long time. But when we come across an astrologer who is an engineer, who is anchored, in the logic of day-to-day
The
life.
balls have to be done, no? After that. Balls
Sorry, I
also
can hear
there.
some other voices coming
Okay.
in. Could you please mute?
Same color.
Could you all mute
No,
your
sir.
audio,
Why
please?
separate color only? Why?
Yeah, thank you. I
No,
think,
previous we are not talking. We are.
yes. So, thank you. So, it will be very nice for us to connect with Muthuji because he'll be very well anchored in the modern way of thinking for most of us, a scientific way of thinking, but he'll connect us to this ancient wisdom. So, over to you, Muthuji.
Sure.
Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Namaskaram to one and all. First of all, I would like to thank the School of Ancient Wisdom for giving me this opportunity to present to this group. So, before starting, I would like to say sincere thanks to all my gurus who impart this wisdom on me. Let me share my screen. I hope you are all able to see my screen.
Yes, Ji.
Okay, thank you so much. So for today's topic, I have taken how astrology can be a tool for spiritual growth and self-realization. So I wanted this session to be a little more interactive. Instead of I speaking and you listening, like you people listening, let's all involve. So you don't need to unmute yourself. I have a couple of polls where you can answer whatever the questions I posted here. Okay, so that will make the session really interactive. Okay, so for that, what you need to do in your mobile or in your laptop, open your browser and go to slido.com, slido.com, and use the passcode 3983443. So go to slido.com and use the passcode 3983443. So once you enter, you will see this question. So you can give your answer. So do we have control of our life? So what is your opinion? Do we have free will, or all the life events are predetermined? Okay, I started seeing one response, I think. I'll wait few more minutes before I get few more response. Just for new joiners, I'm just telling the procedure to join this poll. Go to slido.com and use the code 3983443.
Is it possible for us to join using the laptop as well?
Yes. You can just open your browser and you can type slido.com.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so some interesting response are coming. So many people feel that it's both. Interesting. I'm happy to see that people come for a session for astrology and none of them selected life events are predetermined. I'm really happy to see that. Good. So yeah, we will give one more minute before we go to the next slide.
This is the first time for us, Muthuji.
Oh, on the topic of astrology?
No, this is the first time for us that we are actually doing a participative interactive session like this
Okay.
through slido.com.
Oh, okay.
So
Fine.
people who are who are retired people here,
Okay.
it may be a challenge for them to quickly
Understood. Understood. Yes. Okay, I think it's fair enough. Now, I think we have some good response. We'll move forward. Okay.
Right.
So we have some more polls, maybe a few polls in the end also. So we'll see it. Okay. So very first question comes to most people today is life unfair. So let me start with a story. A humble man in a village was going through a lot of hurdles in his life, and he never seen any growth in his life. He was constantly come up with a lot of challenges. So the challenges are so high in his life that most of the time, like in many instances, he thought of ending his life. But one fine day, he came to know that there is a spiritual master came to his village. So he thought, let me go to the spiritual master and see if I get any answers to my suffering. So he go to the spiritual master. By seeing the spiritual master immediately got that the man is terribly disturbed and he was not doing good. So he asked, like, what happened? What's the problem you're facing? So he asked the spiritual master, like, I never get any success in my life. My life is totally terribly disturbed, lot of failures. All my business went down. My family is suffering from poverty. And my health is also very bad, in a very bad shape. So why this all sufferings happen to me? And the spiritual master reply in a one word saying that you are going through what you deserve. But somehow he is not convinced with his answer. He was terribly disturbed and he asked, like, no, Swamiji, I never did anything wrong in this life. So then why me? Why should I suffer this much? Then with a smile, the spiritual master said, let me tell you the story of Janaka. Then you may able to understand the reason for your suffering. So the spiritual master say that there is a king called Janaka who was ruling a great kingdom, and his entire country was flourishing with happiness and everything. So he's a great successful king. So one day in his court, a minister came to his King Janaka and he was asking, like, I was blessed with a baby, so I want you to give blessings to this baby. Then the king asked, like, why do you want me to give the blessing? Is there any specific reason? Then the minister said, like, you are the most blessed person I have ever seen in this world. You are King Janaka. You are like ruling one of the biggest kingdom in the world, and all the people in the kingdom are so happy, so flourishing. And you are the father of Sita Devi, who is considered to be goddess. And your son-in-law is Lord Rama. So what else is needed? And also you are so philosophical, and you are like an enlightened person. So I don't think any other person can give blessings to this child. And the king happily blessed this child. But later that day, the king was like little bit confused, like, why am I given with all sort of comforts in this life? Is there any reason? So he went to his guru, spiritual guru, and asked, like, what is the reason I was blessed with all this in this life? Then his spiritual guru said, like, tomorrow you go to the west part of your country. There will be a sadhu who will be eating the green leaves. Okay, go to him and ask this question. So he will be the right person to answer you. So obeying his spiritual master's command, so he go to the west part of his country, and he saw a sadhu. He is eating the green leaves. So even before asking the question, the sadhu opens and said that, I know why you came here, but I'm not the right person to tell the answers to you. So you stay here tonight. Tomorrow you go down south, and there will be a sadhu who will be eating ashes. Okay, so go there and ask him, and he will be the right person to answer you. So he stayed there, and next day he traveled down south, and he found that sadhu who is eating the ashes. So he asked why, like even before he asked, that sadhu also told him that, I know why you came here, and you stay here today. Tomorrow you go to the east, there will be a village, and in that village, the head of the village, that person will be blessed with a child tomorrow, but unfortunately the child is going to die on the same day. So go to that child and ask. So that child will be able to give the answer to you. So next day he traveled to the east and went to the village head. So there, as the sadhu promised, the village head was blessed with a baby child. So he went to the child, and he went to the village head and asked, like, can I have a private chat with the child? He said, okay, yes, sure. You are a king of this country. Please bless the child. So now he went to the child and he asked, like, what is the reason I am blessed with all these comforts in this life? Then child says, okay, let me tell you. Few centuries ago, there was a widow who had 4 children. Okay, they are in a very, very poor, like a very poverty state, where they were hunger for 3 consecutive days. So after 3 consecutive days, she got 4 pieces of rotis for that 4 children. Okay, so she distributed that 4 rotis to 4 children. But before they ate, a guest came to the home. So obviously in Indian culture, you know, right? So whenever a guest came to your home, you should spare something for them, right? So the guest was asking, like, I am in hunger, can you give me a roti? Then the poor mother said, I am so sorry, like after 3 consecutive days of hunger, we just got 4 rotis and I have given them to all my 4 children. So it's I cannot take any decision now. You can ask them. So what the guest did is, like, he went to the first child, like an elder child, and he asked, like, can you give me a roti? So the first child said, no, I am like very hungry for last 3 days. So I got this roti now. So if I give this roti to you, what should I eat? Should I eat a leaves? Then Janaka understood, like, what is the fate of this child. So now the guest moved to the next child, and he asked, like, can you give me a roti? So this child says, like, no, it's completely not possible, because if I give that roti to you, what should I eat then? Should I eat ashes? So now he understood, okay, what happened to that child. So now he moved to the third one and he asked the same. And the third one said, no, not at all possible. I am in a terrible hungry. So if I give this roti to you, then obviously I will die. And this child says, like, that is I am. And I have been born again and again and dying on the same day of my birth. And when the guest asked the fourth kid, which is very, very small, like not more than 3-4 years, that child immediately gave the bread, roti to that guest. And that child is you, and you are perished without hunger, like for the hunger, and you are blessed with all the comforts in this life. So that's the story of Janaka, and that really opened the eyes of this common man. Now, this come to the point where there is a clear indication for cause and effect. So for every action in nature, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This is what Newton's third law say, and this is what exactly the Hinduism say about the karma. Okay. Now we'll come to the problem of evil, which is a very profound thought that has been there for centuries. So what is problem of evil? Now, every religion in this world says that God is powerful, right? God is powerful, God is lovable, right? And God is capable of freeing any evil, right? Any suffering. If that is the case, then why did suffering exist in this world? Not everyone is happy and prosperous. So many people are suffering, right? That we can just go to the street and we can see that out of 10 people, minimum 5 people will be suffering. So why this happen? If God is so powerful, he can, in a matter of minute, he can remove all suffering in this world, right? So why there is so much disparity in life? So this is what we call it as a problem of evil. So in a book called The Problem of Evil and Indian Thought, the professor Arthur Herman discussed 23 answers for this problem of evil. And you know what is the most convincing answer? It is law of karma. So he says that the law of karma is the most powerful answer for all the suffering in this world. It also gives a clear picture that it is not that we are suffering because of something else. We are all suffering because of our own past karma. And the God is still powerful, and the God is still omnipotent, and God is still lovable. But the God is not going to remove our suffering because all the suffering is caused by our own actions. There is nothing for God to do on that. Okay, now we'll come to the profound insights of Swami Vivekananda on the law of karma. So what he says, who sows must reap, they say, and cost must bring sure the effect. Good, good, bad, bad, and none escape the law. But whoso wear a form must wear the chain too. But the most profound thing of Swami Vivekananda is he not only said what is law of karma, but he also gives a profound solution for this. So which we will discuss a little later. Okay. Now, how the cause and effect affects the human life. So human do a lot of action, right? Every day we do a lot of action. Our first action sets the causality. That causality have to reap the results, right? If you do action, we need to get the reaction for that. So that sets the causality. So in order to reap the results of the action, the human takes several birth and death. And this is what we call it as a doctrine of karma. Every part of Hinduism, like every religion, accepts the law of karma. Now we know like what is karma. Okay. Now we'll see what are the types of karma. There are 3 types of karma, what we call Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, and Agamya karma. The Sanchita karma is the total accumulated karma for us. For every human being, the total accumulated karma is what we call it as Sanchita karma. Of the total accumulated karma, we take finite portion of karma, and that is manifested in this life, which we call it as a Prarabdha karma. Okay. And the finite portion of karma, which is yet to be manifested, which we call it as a Agamya karma. Okay. So this is the 3 types of karma. So to make it simple, every human do actions, right? We do dharma, good action, and we sometimes do adharma, which is a bad action, right? So to simplicity of understanding, let me take a green apple as dharma and red chili as an adharma. So when we do dharma, we accumulate punya, okay, which is a good action. And because of the good action, we get shuka. Shuka means it's a pleasure. And when we do adharma, we accumulate something called paba, sins. And because of that paba, what we reap is dukkha, sorrow, right? So we do both. Like every human being will do both. There is no one that who do only dharma, and there are no one who will do only adharma. So we do mix of dharma and adharma. So this mix of dharma and adharma is what accumulated as a sanchita karma. So that's the total sanchita karma, which has both green apple and red chili. Okay. Now, out of this total sanchita karma, which is what the total accumulated karma from all our past birth, we take finite portion of karma, which we call it as a prarabdha karma. Okay. But this prarabdha karma may not be same for everyone. For example, some people in this life may reap the results of more paba and less of punya. Or somebody else may reap the results of more punya and less of paba. Okay. So in this case, in the case of one, like somebody may go through a lot of suffering in this life because of more paba is manifested in this life. But in the case of second case, the person may rejoice more of positive results because of he manifested the more of dharma or punya. So that's how the sanchita karma is manifested as a prarabdha karma. Okay, now we have a question here. If human actions are based on karma, so that's what we see so far, right? If all the actions are based on past karma, can we free a killer for his actions? So what is your thought? Take a minute and you can type in your answer. So the slameslido.com. Okay, I don't know what you mean by both. Okay, maybe both. I don't know. Okay, we'll wait for some more response. Yes, okay. Okay, so when I see the answer yes, it means that the killer is doing the action of killing because of his own karma. So we should free the killer, right? That's what I'm understanding. Because the question is like, if the actions are based on past karma, can we free a killer? Okay, so I'm seeing most of people say yes. Maybe I'll give 10 more seconds. Okay, so I think. Okay, this is good enough. We'll go. Okay, so now, is the only action creates karma? Is there anything else that creates karma? That we'll see. So for that, we will take another story from Mahabharata, where Krishna have a profound conversation with Draupadi. Okay, so Draupadi one day, like she was in a very frustrated state. She says to Krishna that the Duryodhana is the most evil person in this country, and he ruined my life. He made me feel worse in the stage of Sinabura, and I really wanted to kill this person. And Krishna stops at her and says that what you said need to be reiterated. And somehow Draupadi was not satisfied. So what do you mean, Krishna? So in that case, like, do you mean that Duryodhana should not be punished for his action? Then Krishna says that, no, what I am saying is you should definitely punish Duryodhana. He should be killed for sure. But the way how you explaining, like what you think that he should be punished, it need to be redirected. Like what he says, Like you are saying that the Duryodhana should be killed because he did a wrong things to you. So you wanted to take revenge on him. So this is something you should not do, because if you do that, you will get karma. But instead, take your intention like this. I have gone through a hell of problem because of Duryodhana, but I wanted to kill this person because no woman in this world should get the same problem because of him. Now, if you set this intention and kill Duryodhana, now you are free of karma. So Krishna simply says that it's not only the action that creates the karma, but the intention performed behind the performed action sets the karma. So now if you go back to the previous question, whether the killer should be free for his action, no, it should not. Because if the killer have a bad intention to kill someone, then definitely he should be punished for his action. But whereas, take a person like who is working as a police officer or someone working in the military. So they also do kill enemies in the war, but they never attach someone during the process of killing. They do because they wanted to save the country. So now the karma, the action is not only based on what you do, but it's very, very important that what intention behind the action decides the karma. Okay, now we'll come to the important part. What is astrology according to you? So far we have seen only karma, theory of karma. We have never talked about astrology. So now I'm going to shift from karma to astrology and how this is related, like both are related. So according to you, what is astrology? Maybe like a small definition, even a one word is enough. Guidance in dark. Okay, that's wonderful. Anything else? Oh, okay. Learn present status of life. Okay, light to our life. Wonderful. Okay, I will give 10 more seconds just to see if somebody is typing.
Muthuji,
Yeah.
suppose people not tech savvy enough, is it okay if they type in the chat box also?
No issues, no issues. That's fine, that's fine. Yeah, if somebody wants to type in the chat box also, I'm perfectly fine. That's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is good enough. I think we got 4 answers, which are good to go ahead. Interesting study of science. Okay, great. Now we talked about karma and what is the relation between astrology and karma. So most of you might know Paramahamsa Yogananda. He's a great yogi of our in the 19th century, and his guru Swami Sri Yukteswar beautifully puts the relation between astrology and karma. He says that a child is born on that day and at that hour when the celestial rays are in mathematical harmony with one's individual karma. His horoscope is a challenging portrait revealing his unalterable past and its probable future results. So this clearly sets where the astrology and karma come together. So all our consequence of our life events are based on our past karma. So how that is decided? That is decided based upon our horoscope, which is carefully casted based upon the time and date of birth, right? So a child is born on a particular day and time in a particular family based on its own past karma. So that's profoundly puts the relationship between the astrology and karma. Okay, now we saw like what is the relation between astrology and karma. Now we'll see like with a small analogy what horoscope reveals. Okay. So there is a kitchen. Okay. So I'm using this kitchen to prepare my breakfast and lunch. Okay. And while it's a busy day for me. So what I do, like I was preparing the breakfast and lunch in a very hurry. So during the preparation process, I spilled out some oil in the floor. Okay. But of course, I don't even have a time because I'm running out of time to go to the office. So I didn't have time to wipe it out. Okay. So I went to office. So I have a very hectic day in the office. And after that evening, I come back to my kitchen. I really forget what happened in the morning. And when I put my leg, I slipped down and I fell down. Okay. So this is scenario one. Let's say the same scenario, I prepare a food. I was in a hurry, so oil is spilled. I don't have time to wipe it out, so I go to office. Okay. But after I went to office, somebody come to my kitchen and they see there is a oil and he puts a signboard saying that take a caution. Okay. So now in the second scenario, after finishing my hectic day in my office, I come back. But moment I enter into the kitchen, I see there is a signboard. Now I realize, okay, there is some oil is here. So I take a mop and I wipe it off. Okay. So now I'm extra careful and I didn't fall down. So exactly this is what horoscope is revealing. The horoscope gives the signboards of your life events. Okay. So based upon your past karma, the consequences of your, sorry. Consequences of your past actions is indicated in your horoscope. So horoscope is nothing but simply the signboards. Okay, now we saw that Vijayananda gave a beautiful definition for karma, but he never stopped there. He also gave the solution for that. So the first 4 lines we already saw. None escape the law of karma, escape the law. Okay, but who wear the form must wear the chain too. So the chain is the chain of karma. But far beyond, both name and form is Atman, ever free. Know thou art that, sannyasi bold. Say Om Tat Sat Om. So what he says that the true Atman is free of karma. Only when we don't realize that we are pure Atman, we are bound to the law of karma. So that's what Vivekananda says. And he also says how to escape the law of karma. Okay. So it's basically the plane of consciousness. Okay. So at this plane of consciousness, where we are in the Maya, where we are ignorant of our true nature, so we perform some action, and for that action we need to get the results. Okay. Because of to reap the results in this life, we again die and we get rebirth and again perform some action without knowing the true Atman. So this is a vicious cycle. It goes on and goes on and goes on. So once we stuck in the cycle of Maya, the law of karma will work. So that's where we cannot escape the law of karma. So life is just the manifestation of unconscious action directed by our past karma. But moment we realize that we are stuck in the cycle of Maya and move to the plane of consciousness through spiritual process. Okay, so that's where the spirituality comes into the picture. So when we have the right guru and when we grow spiritually with the guidance of guru, so we move from this plane of Maya to the plane of Moksha Swarupa. So that's where you are free of karma. So when you are free of karma, there is no planetary influence and there is no significance of astrology, in fact. See? And this is beautifully explained by Swami Vivekananda in one of his book. So I'll read out this wonderful paragraph. So what he says, two wheels joined by one pole or running together. Okay, so there is a wheel, two wheel joined by the pole. Okay, if we get hold of one wheel with an axe, cut the pole asunder. The wheel which I got hold of stops, but upon the other wheel, its past momentum, so it runs on little arid, then falls down. This pure and perfect being, the soul, is one wheel. So he talk about two wheels. One is soul, okay, and this eternal hallucination of body and mind is the other wheel. Okay, the left side wheel is soul, and the right side wheel is the body and mind, and this is joined by the pole of karma. Okay, the karma is the joining factor between the soul and the body. Okay, but when we cut this pole with an axe, right, the soul will stop immediately, right, but the body will not. It will take some time because of its prarabdha karma. It do some actions in this life, and after that it will do. Like, because of this inertial movement, right? Even if you cut the pole, the which you hold will stop immediately, but the other pole will rotate for some period of time, right? So that's what he is saying. The knowledge is the axe which sever the bond between the two, and the wheel of soul will stop. Stop thinking that it is coming and going, living and dying. Stop thinking that it is nature and has wants and desires, and will find that it's perfect, desireless. But upon the other wheel, that of the body and mind, will be the moment of past acts. So it will live for some time until that moment of past work is exhausted. So that's what we call it as a prarabdha karma. Until that momentum is worked away, and then the body and mind will fall, and the soul becomes free. No more there any going to heaven and coming back, not even any going to the Brahmaloka or to the any of the highest of the spheres, for where he is to come from or to go. The man who has in this life attained this state, for whom, for a minute at least, the ordinary vision of world has changed and the reality has been apparent. He is called the living free. So Vivekananda not only talk about the chain of karma, but he give a profound solution to break free the chain of karma. And that is nothing but the spiritual progress. To summarize, like whatever we discussed so far. So the man is ignorant. So because of his ignorance, he perform an action, and the action sets the karma. And in order to reap the results of that karma, he keep on taking the birth and death, and he's stuck in the life of cycle of Maya. But moment he realized that his true nature through the knowledge, through the spiritual growth and path of self-realization, so he start doing the performing the action without attachment. And moment he understand the true self, and that's we call it as a Jivan Mukta, and he becomes the Karma Yogi. So for Karma Yogi, of course, there is no planetary influence and there is no influence of horoscope or astrology. But that's a very, very long cycle for everyone. So until that period of time, astrology is the best time telescope. Okay, so that's all I have. So before even I close and open for the Q&A, I just want to share that we are conducting a 2 days program in the School of Wisdom in the month of June, 22nd and 23rd. So this is a 2-day residential program to transform your career. So here we discuss about like what is the limiting beliefs that is holding your career to grow, and to find the answers to the profound question of who am I? Okay, there are certain scientific exercises to find who really am I? Okay, and there are certain scientific methods to do a SWOT analysis using your birth horoscope, and there are certain concepts called Karagamsa. So how to find Karagamsa and how to align your career decisions with that. And we also do a 15 minutes of one-to-one career mentorship. So this program is going to held in the month of June at the School of Ancient Wisdom. So if somebody is interested, please feel free to contact me. So this is the detailed agenda. If somebody wants, I can share it later. So these are all, this is the total content I had for today's topic. So I am open for questions actually. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Muthuji. Could you just show the previous screen with the agenda? Yeah, this one.
Oh.
No, the agenda.
Ajay. Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Sure.
Well, thank you for your most interesting and empowering talk, Muthuji. I'm sure that many of us would have gotten value from this, as I have. For those who might have any queries or questions, please do speak up and ask your questions now.
Sure. You can also, if somebody is able to join Slido, there is an option to ask your questions, but that's fine. Even if you are typing in the meeting window or directly asking, that should be fine.
Yeah, the normal format is we either ask thing directly or we type in the question in the chat.
Sure.
Box.
Yeah, I am open for that.
Actually, Aparna ji had a question. She said, I'm attending this presentation from Coimbatore for astrological consultations with you. How much in advance should we check with you and what is the process?
Yeah. I think my number is displayed in the first slide. So you can just ping me on WhatsApp and we can connect it. We can discuss on that.
I had a question, but before I ask it, if anybody else has a question, could you please speak up?
Okay, I think there is one question I'm seeing. What about karma from inaction?
Yes, that was my question.
Oh, that's not your question, sorry. Okay, so actually, the thought is the first point for any action, right? But the human mind come across thousands of thoughts in a minute, okay? But some thoughts come in a flash and it will go, okay? So unless your thought is implanted for a long period of time, we usually don't take action. For example, at this moment of time of speaking, there may be 1,000 thoughts coming into my mind, but still I'm answering your question, right? That's the action I'm performing. But maybe I'm simultaneously have some other thoughts also. So for those thoughts, there is no karma because I have not performed anything. But if I have a strong thought, having that in mind for days of days, and that will create a karma. Even before doing that action, that creates a karma. So the thought should be very strong in order to create a karma.
So even if we don't act, that thought which we entertain for a long time, or very powerfully focus on in our mind, can also create karma, is what you say.
Yes, correct.
But my question was from a slightly different context. Sometimes, like they say, the world is what it is, not just because of what the so-called bad people do, but also because of what the so-called good people. I'm saying so-called because what is bad and good is relative to different circumstances, to different situations, different cultures. What might be good for one in one place may not be good in another place. So in that context, it is said that the world is the way it is because of not just because of what the bad do, but also because of what the good don't do.
Right.
Many of us will just be silent bystanders when adharma is happening, for example.
Right.
Where does one draw the line? Sometimes you are you may not know it, that you may not know that you're actually being called to action by the universe when something adharmic is happening, and sometimes we won't even know what to do because we might not want to really get into action and get involved in some violent, let's say, a fight or argument or something like that. Because our true nature does not lend itself, and maybe we should at least speak up in a nice way. So if we are inactive in that circumstance, will karma affect us? What's the context behind the question?
Okay, I understood. Okay. So in that context, it's actually very difficult to answer because most people don't take action when we find something bad happening in the society, because we always think that, okay, why should I get into this problem? Somebody else will take care, right?
It doesn't affect me.
Yeah, that's correct. But if your sole purpose is to take action on that scenario, definitely you will jump in. That's something very, very profound that will happen for everyone, because not every time we don't we become inaction, right? Sometimes we do take action, sometimes we don't to take action, right? So what I strongly believe is, like, you don't need to consciously do that. Actually, if your birth is to take some action, obviously you will definitely take action in that scenario. So I would rather leave it to the nature, because every seed will know what it need to be grown, right? So the seed in you and seed within me will know what action need to be taken, right? So if your seed in you needs that action, you will definitely take it action.
Okay, that kind of makes me feel better. Sometimes I feel, should I get into action something or should I not? So this kind of makes it a little clearer. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else with questions? Right. So it looks like there are no more questions. So in which case, is there anything else that you'd like to tell us, Muthuji?
That's all I have for today's topic.
Now, I'm just curious to know, you being an engineer, did you have astrology or any astrologers in your family tree earlier?
Yes. My father is an astrologer, and we came from astrology family. So I learned astrology at a very early age, in the age of 20. But rather, as everyone take the route of going to study engineering, then taking the corporate job. So I follow the traditional route. But rather, in 2018, I made a strong decision to come back to, like, take astrology as a full time.
So as a child, you would have been, grown up in an environment which is very open to this. But did you believe in it yourself?
In young age, I didn't actually, because I am a very rational person. So in young age, I was not convinced with the fact of like seeing somebody's horoscope and deciding the fate. But later on, when I started reading several texts, and introspecting myself on different thoughts, especially the karma is my most favorite topic. So when I started seeing, like, there is definitely a strong reason for everything to happen. So I started with karma. Actually, then I slowly transited to astrology. That's how it went, actually.
So what was the turning point when, how did you start believing in it and start finding it practical for use in regular life?
I really don't exactly know, like, what is the starting point of belief, but it was during my second year of my engineering. I just one day I grabbed a book of Vedic astrology. I started reading, but somehow, like, initially I thought I will read and challenge it. So for that reason, I started reading. But the moment you start reading and a lot of information a lot of philosophical text, right? So I suddenly got immersed into that, actually. So that's how it went, actually.
So do you believe that, say, business tycoons or even government officials or others should have a department where they consult with these forces? Is it practical for a person who doesn't have faith, for example, to even go to an astrologer or consult with an astrologer? Does it work for them too?
So it's, practically speaking, many business people, many people in government official come to consultation. That's for sure. But still, in our society, astrology is somehow linked to religious context, and also from a point of belief system. So even people who don't openly admit that they believe in astrology, even they sometimes showcase them as a very rationalistic in the public forum. But when they come to a very in a crossroad where they wanted to make a decision, they obviously come to us. So still, I would say, like, people are very well aware of astrology, very well they know when to take consultations. But the problem is the society is not very open to say that they believe astrology, they consult an astrologer. So that's always there. But of course, I always strongly believe that we should always give importance to their privacy. So I'm perfectly okay with that, actually.
Now, astrology is also based on your deeds, not just your past prarabdha karma. So suppose we have, let's say, a certain natal chart when we're 10 years old, and now we are, say, 30, 40, 50, 60. Over between 10 and the 50 or 60, we would have done many things in our lives, positive or negative. So things would change. Now, so predictions that have been done maybe 20 years back may not actually come true. So how much of a variable factor is there, and how does the spiritual level of consciousness of the astrologer make an impact on the accuracy of the reading?
Right, that's true. That's true. See, first, the very first thing is like even Maharishi's Parashara says that until the age of 12, we should not check the horoscope of a child, because the child will fully get the results of its own karma only after the age of 12. Until then, the child will have some karma of family, karma of father, karma of mother. So there are many deciding factors. So after 12 years, the child fully develops the consequence of its own karma. Okay. So that's why we usually traditionally see that like until the age of 12, it's better not to take any consultation. But after taking consultation, the primary assumption of astrology is like horoscope reading is like it is fixed based upon your time and date of birth. Okay. So that's one point in time that's an event happening in the universe at one point in time, right? With the space and time. So it never changes. Okay. But the more the person becomes conscious, the karmic effects will come down. See, the science already says that most of our actions are unconscious, right? 95% of our actions are unconscious. Only 5% of actions we take consciously, right? For example, when you learn to drive a car, probably for the first 1 week, you'll be consciously driving, right? You'll be pushing your clutch, pushing your brake, pushing your accelerator, right? You see the signal, everything. But after 1 week, you talk to your friend, you talk on the phone, but you will be still following everything unconsciously, because that's how the brain is designed. So all the unconscious actions are already fed in based on your past karma. So your unconscious is actually manifested by your karma. But the more you become conscious through your spiritual process, then your unconscious things will come down, right? Instead of 95, if you become 50-50, then obviously only 50% of your horoscope will work actually. So the more you grow in that ladder, obviously the horoscope will start, like it will not give the results.
Well, my question was slightly different. Yes, of course, as we grow in our consciousness, then our karma seems to have less and less of an impact. Even if it is supposed to happen, it happens with less of an impact. Or rather, we get less disturbed by it to a point sometimes where it doesn't even matter. But my question is, the astrologer, because there's so many people who claim to be astrologers in day-to-day life, you won't know who's genuine, who is not.
Right.
And also what I've seen that even amongst the genuine astrologers, an astrologer who's got a higher level of consciousness, personal growth, their predictions will have a slightly different tint or a slightly different, a flavor to it than just a person who's merely doing a job and getting it done and dusted with.
Right. That's right. So obviously, like when the astrologer himself is like very conscious, obviously he'll be able to make a more profound predictions. And of course, astrology is not only the subject of maths and logic, it also involves a lot of intuition. So that intuition comes for the person who is consciously more aware. Okay. But for a normal person, how to find out whether a person is a good astrologer or not, it's very difficult, obviously. But obviously for an astrologer, the very most important quality is to have a compassion and ready to help the person instead of giving a very short-term solution, make some money by throwing some remedies. So that you can find it out within maybe a 10-15 minute conversation, you can find it out. If a person is so involved in guiding you to make a better person, so obviously he might be a very good astrologer. Because the
Understood.
skills comes second, obviously. The skills anyone can learn. So even an astrologer who is very compassionate and very ground to earth to help a person can learn astrology in a matter of 2-3 years. But if
Wow.
somebody is very well in subject, but he is not compassionate enough to help others, probably that is not going to help much to the public.
Thank you so much, Muthuji. Very practical suggestions for all of us too. Because many times, even as seekers, of course, there are one set of seekers who say that, look, I'm a meditator, and Paramatma, the universe, will talk to me. So I will just go with the flow. There are another set of us who say that, no, sometimes we think it'll be nice to have some kind of hand holding in the dark because we don't know what the future holds.
Right.
So I think it'll. I mean, whatever you've told us today is really shining a torch in that darkness.
Thank
So
you.
thank you so much. And going by what you're saying, it looks like you're one of those higher consciousness astrologers who really has put your heart and soul into it after first disbelieving. Many times the best ones start off as disbelievers and then they cover it on their own, through their own efforts, which makes it very well grounded.
Right.
The knowledge and the experiences make them very well grounded to support others. So thank you for that yeoman service that you're doing to humanity and society at large, especially in an Indian context, it becomes all the more relevant.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do you have one question? Let me see if there is any question in Slido. Somebody have messaged saying that there is a question on Slido. Let me read it out.
On Slido.
Okay, so what spiritual guidance do you suggest? Okay, I'm not sharing my screen. Okay, let me share. Is that okay, right? We can extend for 5 more minutes?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, what spiritual guidance do you suggest? I don't think like any different spiritual guidance. Obviously, for every soul, understanding its true nature is the core purpose. So that you can take any route. If you follow Swami Vivekananda, he talks several ways to attain the yoga. Like there is a karma yoga, there is a jnana yoga, there is a bhakti yoga. So there are different routes. So anyone can follow any route that are comfortable for them. So do you teach astrology audio visual presentations? Okay, so I do teach astrology. I have my online course on Udemy. More than 4,000 people are studying that. So that's all recorded video. So I have a 9 hours of recorded video. So which teach where I teach all the fundamentals, talking about like how to cast a horoscope, like what is the planetary nature, all the basic fundamentals, 10 hours of recorded video. So once somebody finishes that online course and if they wanted to deep dive, I do a one-to-one mentorship also. That's for 6 months. It's a one-to-one mentorship. I hope that answers.
And also, Revati ji has thanked you for the astro discussion.
Sure, sir.
So
Thank you so much.
Again, Vishnathan ji as well, Jasmine ji, and so on. So if you look at the chat window, you'll find a lot of an outpouring of gratitude. So thank you so much, Muthuji. It was really very interesting, and hopefully through these discussions, one thing that stood out is when you quoted Swami Vivekananda, and also you mentioned Paramahansa Yogananda. Many of us have been exposed to these great masters in some form or other, some form or other through the books or otherwise. And we'll get back to your question shortly, Chetnaji. So what I found was when you mentioned this, it suddenly kind of becomes very apparent when you hear it from a great master of how the soul is in this life is linked to the mind and body, and how we can, cut the axle that links both the wheels. That puts it in a very succinct and unemotional manner. And if we really step back and look at our lives, some of us have gone through lots of pain. In fact, spiritual seekers in general, the reason we become seekers is because we have gone through some kind of pain, and you want to look for a solution. Quite often, that is the way in which anybody starts growing, actually, because happiness is something we just enjoy. And it's only when the pain can be a small thing, it can be a big thing. But when the soul is ready in that particular life, it starts the seeking. So sometimes we've gone through so much of pain. So when we step back, the ability to step back is really helped through these kind of discussions, through these kind of words of such wise ones. So that is what you've also brought us in touch with today. Suddenly it appears to be so simple and much more attainable, the ability to de-link from our karmas and how to move on also. So thank you for making us present to that. Now, Chaitanya ji, I think Swati will be able to address that. When can we find the recorded session today? Swati, would you like to, maybe shortly, a day or two, is it? Swati, if you're there. I think normally it'll be a link that is posted in the WhatsApp group. I think Swati will be able to address
Sir,
that.
we'll be uploading the YouTube on the YouTube channel, the recorded session soon after this meeting. So we'll be
Okay.
uploading it.
Right. So I think that will answer Chetnaji's question. And even Vijay also thanks you. So on that note of, please share the WhatsApp link. I suppose, how do we get that WhatsApp link in the WhatsApp group, Swati?
Actually, soon after this meeting, we'll be uploading it on the YouTube. Within 5 minutes, it gets published. And you can subscribe to your YouTube channel and you will be getting the notification as well.
So the WhatsApp link, sorry, the link will be on WhatsApp, is it?
If we want, we can also send it through WhatsApp.
Okay, so maybe that's how it can be done then. So on that note of gratitude for Muthuji and all the awareness that we've now got through this program, let us all sit straight with our back, neck, and head aligned as we bring today's satsang to a close. Let us thank the divine for this opportunity. Let us be in that space of an attitude of gratitude. Many times we forget during our lives, during our day, to get back to that state of being grateful. In that state, let us all do the Loka Samastha as well, where we remember our loved ones, those in our community who need help, those we have to send prayers to. Just remember the prayer in your heart, and as we do the Loka Samastha together, the prayers will reach them. Also remember the different places in the world which need these prayers of peace and wisdom and reconciliation at this time of, when wars are going on, economic strife and so on, and tremendous growth as well. Take a deep breath with your back, neck, and head aligned. Let go. Let us center ourselves and connect with each other in that space of silence. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you, everyone. Until next Thursday, have a good week ahead, and God bless.
Thank you so much.
Namaskar.